Hello friends and welcome back for another episode of Indie Impressions. My name is Nick and today we're going to be checking out Enter the Brain. It's another game from the Global Game Jam 2014 and one that is absolutely beautiful. It's essentially a first-person, kind of like a racing game mixed with a little bit of parkour, a little bit of exploration, and then just a little bit of like abstract, beautiful serenity where we're going to be just running our butts off looking for, well, memories in this case, in fact. What we're doing here is sort of simulating running through a brain and trying to map out large areas of it as quickly as possible. Right now the timer hasn't actually started because I haven't triggered the game quite yet. But when we begin the run, well, things get quite difficult. And what we're going to be doing is running through all these tubes that you can see connect from one area to the next. And we'll be trying to fill up as many of the various colored rooms as possible, sort of checking them off on our map. And then eventually we'll get a checkbox down at the bottom on one of those 5 colored boxes where it's white, blue, green, pink, and then yellow. And hopefully, if we're really, really good, we'll be able to navigate this entire world and then maybe, get all the checkboxes and win. But the timer is going to be ticking down really quickly, and it's quite difficult. I've tried a few rounds of this. I haven't been particularly successful, but I did really, really enjoy this one. So this is one that I absolutely am going to recommend to you guys. So let's give it a run or 5 and see how it goes. So I'm going to head towards Lavender Town here, and you'll see things will kick into high gear. So we've got timer starts at 19 seconds or 20 seconds, something like that. And we're just going to be looking for each one of these portals as quickly as possible. And you have to be aware that you can kind of miss these jumps. And if you miss them, you've got to be very careful about how you fall, because you might end up falling in a way that's not actually going to land you on any kind of solid ground, in which case you just straight up lose the run. It's that simple. So we've marked off 6 rooms so far. This is now 7 in the Lavender world. I'm going to be watching at the bottom to see if perhaps something has checked off. That actually might have been the white world, in fact. Oh, and I've fallen now, so I've got to look for a good way to transition without using up too much of my timer. And don't expect any kind of perfection here. This is likely not going to be a winning run anytime soon. And no, you cannot land on top of these tubes, unfortunately. So you can't use those to scurry to victory in some other way. If I could hurry this fall up a little bit, there we go. It's not going to give me a lot of time to explore the pink area down here, but at least it is keeping me in the run. Now, the thing that amazes me is how freaking beautiful this is, looking out on this huge, vast expanse of colorful platforms. And there's no ground under me, so I'm just going to lose now. But this is a huge open expanse, and there's like no frame rate drop for me, and I'm running this on the beautiful setting. Oh, it actually doesn't trigger the timer yet until I go through one of these gates. So I guess we can kind of take our time and plan things out if we really want to. But it's kind of wild to just take in how many platforms there are and how colorful and pretty they are. It sort of reminds me of if we were looking at like a wire mesh version of one of the Metroid Prime maps or something. In fact, the Metroid Prime map is a wireframe map, but if you know what I mean, like we're seeing this big giant, almost like a Metroidvania flowchart laid out in front of us, and then there's all these beautiful particles and lighting effects, as well as just glowing things just going on all over the place. It just makes you want to look around and see what's there. And if this was actually, a map that we could just freely explore, and maybe there was like little worlds that we could discover on each one of these platforms, I would totally be into just walking pleasantly and quietly through all of this. I've also noticed in my exploits here that occasionally some music will start playing, and that certainly is quite nice. It's not the kind of music I expected. It's a little bit more down-tempo, the one little theme that I encountered. Oh, see, I've fallen off the world already. It doesn't take much, and you don't really have a lot that you can recover from a lot. Most of the time, these portals will just be a little bit smaller than you expect, and you might just duck under next to one of the doors and find that you've just fallen off things, just like keeps happening to me. And my speed is increasing, but then I keep falling off everything again, which is unfortunate. If I could get, some double jumps, maybe that might help. And I do see that there is a jump _1 in the bottom left corner. Does that mean I can jump twice? No, I think it just means my jump is slightly more high, or a little bit more in terms of altitude. There's no pipe here for me to take. I think I've actually found a dead end, so I actually have to turn around and head back the way I came, with my tail between my legs, looking for more lavender platforms. I don't think I've gotten a single checkbox done yet on my list. Did I find the same platform again? I think I have. You have to be a little bit manic with how you approach this. The timer is not forgiving at all, and if you don't immediately have somewhere to go as soon as you get off one of these things, well, you're just going to run out of time, like I just did there. I was mid-air, right about to land in that. But despite it not being very forgiving, I still find this to be quite a fun challenge. I sort of wondered though, like, what if they made it so instead of having to clear out certain areas one at a time, maybe the entire area, the entire world is lit, or not lit up rather, and as you, or vice versa, honestly, either way would probably work. Yeah, probably the other way would be better. Everything starts bright, and then you slowly work your way through the whole world trying to turn everything dark again. Maybe that wouldn't work quite as well plot-wise, but I think that would be kind of interesting to see an area off in the distance and then try to figure out your path on how to get there. And maybe the tubes that would take you to that location might light up or something, or there could be various other ways that mapping could be implemented, GPS style or something, to lead you to the proper area. But as it stands, I mean, even without really any changes, I think this is a really cool, very well-executed game, and particularly incredible that this might have been made, I think, in only 48 hours. So some really, really talented developers behind this one, and I'm absolutely into seeing what other things they might have developed or might be going to develop in the future. Is there anything? No, there is not. And in this case, if I really wanted to, I could just take a dive off the side of this platform and hopefully land somewhere that might help me out. But my paths have been just awful. And I think it's pretty much intentional that there isn't a lot that you can do to just see your way through. It's kind of supposed to seem like a big bound-up, wound-up pile of stuff. You can't really see an obvious linear path from one area to the next, and you don't really have much time to stop and look around anyway. I feel like I could be doing good things in the area I was just in. I might have been pretty close to finishing off one of those. And this is actually a little minor platforming puzzle in the midst of all of that, which is not something I have time for, unfortunately. Can I just cheese this and go? No, I guess my timer stays for each one of these platforms until maybe I go to another area. I'm not actually sure what's going on here. Oh, this is totally off kilter. I'm going weird diagonals now. There's no platforms anywhere. That also makes things very difficult when you can't really see where you're going, and also the ground sideways, and also it's a dead end. Like, all of those things together equal pretty much failure most of the time. It might also matter where you start and which direction you head off in the first place. Like, if I really wanted to, I guess I could sort of look at this situation and see, well, maybe this might lead me towards the orange world. Maybe I could work my way up and to the right. Not sure this is going to really work, but I can give it a shot. And, the gates are kind enough to actually show you an arrow, at least, to give you sort of an idea of where you might end up. So in that respect, they were kind enough to help us out a little bit. But I think maybe a little bit more in the way of, some sort of HUD cues might be useful in terms of maybe where we need to be going. I am quite grateful, though, that your speed increases as you go. I'm just going to throw myself off of this and see if I can maybe land on this platform. Oh, I did. Actually seem to have quite a bit of time as you fall to make some moves work for yourself. I'm sort of missing that there doesn't seem to be much of like a wind rushing past your face sound as you're falling. It seems like it's kind of sorely absent, but, games made in short times make concessions. This is certainly one of the most polished ones I've seen in quite a while, and just an absolutely beautiful game world, and one that I'd love to see more of. It reminds me a lot of Fracked as well, another game I've been really itching to get back and try again. One that I covered very, very early in my channel's existence and has been in development for pretty much the entire time that I've been doing Indie Impressions. So I've been really hoping to get a chance to try that out in whatever its current state might be. But that is not this video, unfortunately, or fortunately, because we're actually having a great time regardless. So let's see if we can maybe get like one checkbox would be terrific. Keep our expectations real low, though. Oh god, this is actually a pretty tough jumping challenge, and now I'm going to fall through the air for far too long for me to reach another one of these platforms. Alright, well, I think that's going to be it for Enter the Brain. A really, really cool game. Highly recommend you guys check it out. Link is going to be right in the description. I should warn you guys also, I believe the controls are automatically mapped to, like, the French keyboard standards, so since this opens up as a Unity game right in that main launcher window where you set the resolution, make sure you also set your controls to be WASD if that's how you prefer them to be used, because that might actually end up putting a few people off. When you start the game up and you're like, wait, I only have to use arrow keys and I can't do that in spacebar and look all at the same time. Now you gotta remap the keys at the beginning. But that only takes about 5 seconds, so hopefully nobody is dissuaded by that. But all in all, beautiful game, highly recommended. Go check it out. Let me know what you think in the comments. I'd love to hear from all of you if you could. And of course, any likes or, any suggestions for future episodes are also absolutely wonderful. If you guys do want to chip in towards showing your support for me, I do really appreciate that. But please do check out some of my other information in the social media links in the description if you'd like. My Twitter, my Facebook, my Twitch channel where I stream live, and of course, indie-impressions.com is the website where all these episodes get hosted and sorted and categorized. But I will be back again tomorrow. New episodes go up every single day in the Indie Impressions series, so if you like what you saw today, please do come back again tomorrow. Consider subscribing because I will have new episodes ad infinitum as long as I can continue to make them, and we're almost 2 years now. It's getting rather close. I think we're a little over a month away from that point. So show your support. I greatly appreciate it, and please do come back again tomorrow. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will talk to you later.